What's going on, everybody? I'm gonna make a quick video here on try to show you how to do your maintenance on your oil furnace. This is only for oil furnace. I know how to get around with this furnace. I'm not an HVAC guy, so you do this at your own risk, and then of course you're gonna have to learn how your furnace is set up. Mine has a Beckett heat pump, oil pump rather. So of course you're gonna have, I'm gonna back up a little bit here so you can see. There's my cover. So there's your cover plate. Of course you gotta take that out. Make sure you start, before you do anything, turn off your power, go over to your tank and close your valve in order to stop the oil from coming into the unit. So once you have your valve shut off, then that's gonna restrict the oil from coming into the unit. Take your cover off. Once you have your cover off, you're gonna be at your pump here. So for mine, in order to get the pump to move back, what I have to do is, there's two latches right here and right there. Mine have the option to do flathead screwdrivers, or you can do your typical socket. So you move that to the side, and then you're gonna move it backwards. Here's your energy for the probes. I call them probes. I don't think that's what they're called. And then once you're there, you're gonna see, find your feed for the oil. For mine, I'm already started this, so it took a 7/16 open wrench right here. This is gonna go lefty, so to the top. You're gonna go uppers, unscrew that. A little bit of oil might come out of that, and then I have a little collar here that I have to unscrew to free the nozzle unit. So go ahead and unscrew that. You can see how this starts getting loose here. And for what I understand, so you want to put this to the side where you don't lose it. Make sure that you remember the flat side goes against the housing here. Put it to the side. I learned today that this is supposed to be done every year. I've been in this house for a little bit over 4 or 5 years, and I have never done it. So as I was saying, of course, I get a spam call in the middle of trying to do something important for people. So you move that back, and then in order to get your unit out, you have to get it out of the assembly here, the box. So just wiggle it out carefully. Then you have to twist it a little bit, just, work it out. You don't have to yank on it, don't break anything. And once you have it out, it'll again spill a little bit of oil as you twist it from this end here where my thumb is. So right here, that's a part that you undid. So once you have it out, on the front end here, you see that copper piece. The front of that is going to be your nozzle, and then the white things are going to be the, what is the name of that? I keep calling them probes. That's not probes. Okay, it came back to me. They're called electrodes. So these are your electrodes. I'm not touching them. I'm not messing with them at all. I'm gonna leave them alone and just go with the fact. I'm just gonna take it as if they were set up right. There's a formula to, I think the standard one to set up is about, I wanna say 1/8 of an inch in front of the nozzle. So when the nozzle is screwed all the way in, again, I might be wrong. You have to look that up on your own if you are, in fact, messing with that. But I'm not. So I think it's 1/8 of an inch in front of the nozzle. As you can see, it sits in front there a little more than, so it goes ahead a little bit. And then there's got to be a certain distance between the nozzle and the probes. And I think it was 1/2 inch is the standard. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on how that's done, so I'm not touching it. Leaving that alone for now. So once you're here, you're gonna need 2 wrenches. One of them being, for mine, I needed a 19 open wrench and a 17. So what I did is put my 19 right here. So the 19 here at the floor level. I think I have the wrong one. So the 19 was on here, and then the 17 on my probe, or I'm sorry, not the probe, on the nozzle itself. And then while you put pressure on this one, of course, this would be on the floor or something. While you're holding this one with your hand or something, or against the floor, then you take this one and you go down for left. All right, once that's done, then you can move on to unscrewing your nozzle, and then you can take a flashlight and look inside of the nozzle housing, I'm gonna say, for lack of a better term. So if you look inside of there, sometimes there's gunk. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a pick and just carefully try to break that up, and then either blow air in there or just get a rag and try to work everything out so everything is clean. This is the old one. I went and got me a new nozzle from the local HVAC people. On the nozzle, on the head, there are numbers. So you can see this is a 75, or is a 0.75, and then 80 degrees A. So, but for what I understand, the 75 means, I think that's how many gallons per hour it works on, and then this is the 80 is the angle. So I went and got me a new nozzle, and we're getting ready to install. Okay, so I took the nozzle off of this and went outside, took my pick, and if you don't know what a pick is, it would be a piece of metal that looks like a screwdriver with pointy ends like so. And I went in there. You can see how, let's see if I can get a good light on it. You can see there. It's nice and clean and shiny. You can see the brass is clean everywhere. It was gunky in there. I took a wire brush with the probes to the, not the probes, the electrodes, and clean the outside of it too. So now I'm ready to move on to installing my new nozzle, which we have. This is what the nozzle looks like from the store. So as you see, 0.75 gallons, 80-degree angle, and it comes in this little case. So we're gonna take it out of the case, put it in here. So we're just gonna remove this from here, and you can see how shiny this copper filter is here compared to, I'll show you what the old one looks like real quick. This is what the old one looks like. Not quite the same, so hopefully we get some better spray out of that. That's what the front looks like, and the front of the new one. You can see how dirty this one is compared to that. So this is the old one. Put it to the side. Go ahead and put the new one in here. Just get it in by hand, and then you're gonna reverse the process. Make sure you don't put any Teflon or nothing in there. It's just gonna go in there bare. And then almost made a mess. Once you have that in there, take your wrenches, as we talked about earlier, and you're gonna put your 19 on the bottom one, and I had it held just like this up against the floor, or even if you have the ability to hold it up. I just don't want anything hitting my electrodes, so I'm gonna lock it up there, and then I'm gonna go up with my 17 nice and tight. There we go, we're good to go there, and that's it. Now we go back and reverse the process and put everything back together. Okay, let's see how much light we can get in here. Give you a view of everything from the top. That's your firebox in there. You can clean that glass, so it can tell you how much crap is in there by just cleaning that glass. It pretty much tells you what it looks like inside. I did do a heat exchanger cleaning of this, and I didn't get to record. I didn't even have a channel at the time. But that's also good to do. There wasn't a lot of there. It's real hard to get in there. What I did is actually I opened up this here and try to scrape as much as I can. And then I took a not a fire hose, a garden hose, and attached it to my vacuum. And then I try to get up there and clean as much as I can to, yeah, get some cleaning done in that portion of the machine. Okay, so let's go back in. I'm gonna take our setup here, slide it in an angle. I'm sorry for this pipe, is on the way here a little bit, but I think that's the best we can do. That's an electrical wire. I don't want to mess with it too much, but just work your way in there nice and slow. Don't push too hard on anything and try to break it. Now we're nice and parallel in the hole, and we're gonna match the threaded pipe that comes outside. It's almost in there. See it sneaking out, and now we're all the way out. Now we gotta take our collar right here. This collar that I showed earlier that I said make sure you don't lose, and there's the flat part, and then the threaded part is gonna face the copper pipe because there's a fitting that locks onto it. So go ahead and put that in place. Switch hands here. All right, so we're gonna get this in the copper pipe, the line, and then go backwards. Mine was a little finicky at first to get it in. It just had like a sticky point. I thought the threads were like messing up on me, but that wasn't the case. We probably just had some dirt holding it up, and I'm gonna get this finger tight in here. There we are. And there's not a lot of room in there for this to be out of place. Like, you know, you're not gonna be able to get this like way too high or way too low due to the room that you have. Yeah, and if anything happens, I mean, you can try to mark this part of the housing before you get it out. You can put a mark wherever it was, so you know that you're getting it right back where it came from. But I only have one hole, and there's a plate in there, so don't think there's a lot of chances for it to be out of place, other than a little higher than it was. But again, I have those guides, and you can see them in there, just from the right and left of the electrodes. That's not going to allow you to go too high or too low. So we're good there. Let's go ahead and put the fitting back on and get this. Actually, let's give it a little bit of a turn on the collar with the pliers. Just a little bit, nothing too hard. That was a very tiny bit of a turn. Now we're gonna match the fitting back up. Screw that in. And now take our 7/16 and finish tightening it. I don't have to go overkill with this. I'm pretty sure that there are some specifications, but that should be fine there. Pretty tight, nothing too hard. All right, that's it for that. Now I'm gonna get all my tools out of there. I'm gonna close the chamber here, the electrical part of it, and then what you're gonna do is go ahead and secure that however your setup has it. So with mine, I just have these little tabs, and they're actually shaped to go right where they belong. You can see the little line right there. It's actually kind of like an offset for it to fit where it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up, and then we're gonna do the oil filter. Okay, so for my application, this is where my shut-off valve is. It's at the right at the tank. I think it's time for me to change that whole housing too. Looks pretty gross. But you can follow the lines all the way to your unit, and then you eventually will find where the shut-off valve is. Now for my filter, some might have it right in front of the right in front of the unit. Mine is down here. So what you have to do is unscrew this here to get to the filter. They get 2 washers. I think one is for the top here. There's a little bolt right here, and I think the other one is for this one up here. So we're gonna get rid of the housing, spin it off. Just for my pellet stove that I hardly ever get to use because it doesn't really have the proper location of the house to heat my house as much as I would like to use it more. So for this one here, we have to spin this off. Of course, there's oil in there, so some oil is gonna fall. So I would recommend that you put something underneath to catch it. I didn't have my, it says here model F300, and I didn't have that with me when I went to get the materials. So I'm gonna just try to pair it up, the old one with the new one, without ripping the container before. So in case if it doesn't fit, then I can take it back and bring the proper one. Okay, so I have a container underneath for the oil that's gonna fall off, and I'm gonna try to twist this off. Valve is all the way off, and let's see, it will be this way. That way we'll be tighten it. I think it has to be forward. I'm gonna put the phone down for this here because it's gonna take some strength. Okay, so you don't spin this off. You actually have to use, on mine is a 14mm nut that you have to undo, and then I'm pretty sure this is gonna be where the mess comes up. I haven't done this in a couple years. I want to say maybe 2, and that's why I thought you had to twist it off. But we'll take this bolt out, and then I will release the canister where we will put the new filter. Don't want to get my ungloved hand dirty. I'm trying. Not getting loose at all. I'll go get my ratchet wrench and see if it's gonna take me all that long to do it. Now, there's one of the gaskets there that I hope I have a new one of. This bolt goes all the way through it, all the way to the bottom to secure it. So we're almost there. Boom, we'll release. There it comes. Oh, that's a dirty filter. All right, there's a lot of junk in there. So maybe you don't want to wait as long as I did to get this replaced. This has a lot of crap in it. I'm gonna try to clean that up, and I don't have the room to do it to get the whole bolt out. But as you can see, there's a lot of crap. And I didn't realize I had this kind of filter. I thought I had the other style. So this is something that I don't know how I'm gonna attack it. I gotta figure out if I wanna get the older filter in there. There's a gasket up there too. All right, so let's get this out and just put it in there, and we're gonna get rid of this fuel that's in there because I don't know what all kind of crap is in it. It's pretty dirty in there. I don't know if you can see, but Jesus, there's a lot of junk in there. We're gonna try to clean that up before we put it back together. I could see how that definitely would mess with your performance of your unit. So let's clean the canister up and then put this back together. We're gonna try the filter and see if the filter is compatible. All right, so after a lot of scrubbing and toweling and so on, we were able to get everything out of there. So now we're nice and clean, back to, you know, having a clean canister. That is, I mean, lesson learned here, never let this go beyond 1 year. I think that's 2 years of crud and stuff from the filter that is just unacceptable. I should have never let that go that long. Now my next challenge is, are we going to be able to use this kind of filter here? This is the cartridge. It has like ridges on it instead of the traditional honeycomb looking like one that's made out of wool. So we're gonna try this out. Hopefully this works, because if it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to eat the price or the cost of this filter. And we're gonna get set up here, put everything back into place, and get this thing fired up. My wife is already complaining that it's cold upstairs, so that's what she gets. She didn't want to get the fireplace going with the wood, so she has to wait now. Don't nobody tell her that I said. All right, guys, we almost just had a real big oopsie here, as I almost dropped my phone in that container with the oil. So here is the this is a RF1 filter. When you open this, you want to be careful, because there's some gaskets in there. See how the lighting can get better here. There's some gaskets in there that you want to keep and replace. One for the bolt that goes through, the other one is for the little I think that's for the bleeder bolt. So here's the filter compared to that other one, the honeycomb looking like one. Almost reminds me like the little stick that they put in the honey to see how thick it is. So here's the new one. We're gonna put this to the side and go ahead and find our new gasket for the edge, where the canister right here. So that goes in here just like so. And please tell me, yep, it fits, so no problem there. That's good. Compare it with the old one and make sure that, yep, it's the same. So no issues there. Put that to the side. And now in here there are 2 gaskets. And there's that tiny one for that little bolt, and then the other one for the bigger bolt. And now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that I didn't do my bolt gasket last time I did this, because as you can see there, there's barely any room and the bolt doesn't get out. So in order for me to do that properly, I am going to have to release the line from here, and also, so I'm gonna have to release the line right here, and then take a wrench, a monkey wrench back there, and turn the housing sideways in order to get the bolt to come out, because otherwise it's hidden. It tops out. Let's see if I can get you up. So if I try to push it out, it hits my tank. So I'm gonna have to tilt that sideways, but I'm gonna have to unhook from here first to have the ability to turn that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn that a little bit. I guess either way, either left, so it will loosen this way if it's all the way in, and then I'll be able to get the bolt out through the side, put the gasket on, put it back on, get it, put it vertical, and do all that. So let's get that done and come back in a little bit. All right, I'm taking things one at a time. Gonna go ahead and relieve. Go ahead and take this out. As you can see there, that gasket is pretty chewed up. Probably hasn't, well, I haven't replaced it in the 5 years or 5 to 8 years. Yeah, excuse me, 5 to 6 years that we lived here. But that gasket there, it's pretty old. We're going to go ahead and replace that with the new one. Taking old gasket out. You might hear my daughters in the background here. They're over here in my basement gym jumping around. And is this even? All right, I had to use some pliers to be able to get this guy in there to hold the gasket and be able to turn it. You just have to. I used the pliers to pinch it, like just grab it there, and then use the wrench to go ahead and turn it around, turn it all the way in and out. Now we're gonna go in here, put this bolt back in, and for my, it's 8mm. It's what I need here for what I'm using to get this in and out. So we got a new washer there, and with the way oil prices are today, I'm hoping that doing this here would help me save, I don't know, a couple dollars. Do have other measurements to try to save on them, on the oil, like wood stove, not a wood stove, a pellet stove that I installed down here in the basement that didn't quite work so well because I can't get the hot air upstairs. Here's the oil washer right there, and we're gonna keep this just somewhere here in case this one doesn't work out. But as I was saying, yeah, I have that fireplace heat exchanger, which they're pretty expensive. They run like 400. I've seen them up to $700. I got one for $60 off of Marketplace with a very little fan, and I did some adjustments to it, and I got it pumping real hot air into my living room when I use wood. And I just try to scout the free wood that's being given. Somebody cuts a tree down, don't want to pay for the wood to be taken away, or some of these people that cut trees down, they want somebody to come take it away because they don't have a wood like a chipper or anything like that. Let's see what size this is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this out of here, the line, so I can rotate and be able to put the rotate the fit in here and get the bolt out. There might be some fuel coming out of it, but that's okay. As I was saying, yeah, you just gotta scout for people that get rid of trees and they want to give away free wood because they don't want to haul it. And as long as you're not using pine, if you have a setup of a wood stove or anything like that, you can get pretty much at the cost of electricity what it costs you to run the system that you have, whether it's a firewood, a wood fire stove, or what I have, which I can show at the end. Or so I think I've shown it before, but I just this heat exchanger, there's air that goes through the pipes and blows it into my living room while the wood burns in on the pipes, heating it up, and then I get a fan going, a ceiling fan, and try to distribute that as much as I can through the house. Now my living room stays pretty hot, but it's not the same case for my bedrooms. I have a 4-bedroom home, and there are 3 bedrooms on the back end that don't really get any of that air. And I keep my my unit running on circulation, so it kicks on every so many minutes. The way that it was set up, try to get some of that air circulating around, but it doesn't really do that much, or as much as I would want it to. So, but it still, it still keeps the the oil from running all day, and then we turn it on at night. Now I get it. Nighttime is colder than the daytime, but if you can save 12 hours out of the day or 10 hours out of the day that you're not running, I'm gonna say 12, like between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. we run wood on that heat exchanger, and we don't have to pay or use the oil. That adds up. On free wood, if you were paying for the wood, it would be different, but on free wood, that'll take that any day, and pretty sure that I probably save me a full tank of oil every season. Now a full tank right now will probably run me $700, so take that saving any day. Let's see if we can crank this one loose here. All right, this guy's turning like I expected it, so there we go. About a quarter of a turn. Should be able to get me this bolt out here soon. Right there. Here's the old washer on there that's pretty beat up. Get that one out of there and replace it with the new one. I'm gonna go ahead and clean. Where's my rag? There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that bolt pretty good there. Make sure there's no gunk on it. And then we're gonna insert the new washer here. Boom. Put this guy right through. Now let's see what the other side of this thing looks like after I did the best I could cleaning it. Turn it around. It's a little bit of it's not too much, but just a little bit of gunk in there. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that out. I mean, you probably want to see what it looks like. It's not that bad. Just kind of clean this up here so we create a good seal when we put the new gasket. That's fine there. All right, time to put everything back together. So get this going through. Turn this guy back up. Make sure that it is tight as it was when I got it. Loosen up. I hate using monkey wrenches. They're a pain in the butt. It looks about how it was before. Yep. Get this guy back up here. I'm probably gonna have a little bit of air in the line. We'll work that out by priming the pump if we need to. I did put all that back together, so should have waited to put the cover on it. Go put this by hand first, so we don't mess up the threads. But yes, I was saying, you know, any opportunity that I get to get free heat, I sure take it. I am not trying to pay, you know, this heat, this oil is quite expensive nowadays. And if I can save a couple dollars by, you know, shopping some wood, which I can use as a workout actually, just going out there in the summertime and, you know, getting after it with the splitting maul. And then make some piles. I got my wood, my firewood is stacked up in pallets, and I cover it up in the winter time with a tarp. And I had a bunch of it. It just gotten a little busy over the last couple of months, and I wasn't able to get out and get as much as I would like to have, but I'm gonna get back after it. I just got a big truck load of free wood the other day from a storm that we had, and somebody had a tree they wanted to get rid of. All right, so now it's time to put our gasket in here in the canister. So we put the gasket in there. This fit like a glove. It's nice and, you know, it goes right in there. There's no wiggle room or nothing like that. I don't know if you can see all the way in there, but it fit like it should. So I'm not worried about this not being the wrong size or anything. So we're gonna go up here and put this guy back together. It goes all the way up. Help it a little bit there. Right, keep that facing forward and take my, can't remember what size that is, 14 mil I think. Get this guy nice and tight. All right, everything is where it needs to be. That's nice and tight there. We're gonna open up the valve and we're going to go ahead and monitor what's gonna happen as far as no leaks here, no leaks in the unit at the pump, and make sure that let's see what the system does. If it locks up on air, then you know what, before I even go over there, I'm not even gonna risk it. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up a little bit here and let some of that oil come up so it fills up, and then I know that I'm not gonna have an issue over there on the bleeder here. I don't know how much I have to spin it out, but don't want to make a mess. You know how this goes. I'm not sure how fast that's flowing. I saw another guy just spun out the bolt a little bit back, this one here, to get the filter to fill up. We can also do that. We'll try that maybe. See if we have some luck getting it to fill up. The only thing that I don't like is that it gets oil to come to the gasket, and I'll get worried that that's not gonna create a tight seal. Let's go turn this guy on and see what happens. So I'm gonna actually remove the cover here to make sure that I can see if there's any issues. So let's turn the machine on, watch it work. All right, so it's fired up. As you can see, there's flame in there. I don't have any leaks at the feeding hose right here. I don't have any leaks over there anywhere. Now there was oil all in this line all the way through, all the way to the back. So I'm not sure if it's gonna run on that and then stall out, because this thing has to fill up and then there will be air in the system. And by the time, if we have to get the air out, we have to look for the bleeder valve. But as of right now, we're running fine. 0 leaks here, no leaks there, no leaks on the top. Everything is good. We'll get rid of this nasty looking thing. I mean, that's like I said earlier, that's just bad, and it is everywhere. You can see up there, there's like so much wax. It is just nasty. It's the same way inside of that filter. So I hope that this helps people, you know, get something done on their own and not have to get a technician out. This is just maintenance. This is the filter that we use. I'm gonna keep this here, so when next year comes around, I don't have to be scrambling around looking for what's the filter that I used. Again, everything is running fine. My filter, you want to do the air filter on your unit. Mine is back here. Get that out every so often. I try to do it every quarter if I remember correctly. I got to start setting alarms so that way I do it consistently and have no issues with my filters, my air filter being clean and not feeding a bunch of crap into your living space. Again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. We are done with this one. Thank you for watching.